All right, let's dive into something that can completely change the way you think about professional relationships. We're not talking about old school stuffy networking. We're talking about networking with heart. And trust me, it's a game changer for your business.
You know the feeling, right? You go to some event, you collect a whole stack of business cards, and then you get home and realize you don't actually remember anyone. It's like you did a lot of talking but made zero real connections. It just feels empty. There's actually a name for this. I call it the networking hangover. It's that feeling of complete exhaustion after hours of just surface level small talk that doesn't really go anywhere. The good news? It absolutely does not have to be this way. See, here's where we've been getting it wrong. We thought networking was about shaking as many hands as possible, about working the room, but that's not it at all. The real magic, the real value, is in working the relationship. It's a total shift in perspective. And that shift brings us to a whole new philosophy, networking with heart. This isn't just a tactic. It's a completely different way of showing up, one that's built on being real, not on just collecting contacts. So what does that actually look like? When you break it down, it's so incredibly simple. But man, is it powerful. It's not some complicated strategy. It just means showing up as you, being kind, and actually listening to people. That's how you build real trust, which is the bedrock of any amazing business relationship. The whole thing really boils down to this one crucial flip in your mindset. You stop asking, what can I get from this person? And you start asking, how can I help this person? How can I serve them? When you make that one change, everything else follows. You go from being a collector to a connector. And this is really the soul of it. You could have the most brilliant conversation, but years from now, people won't remember the exact words you said. What they will remember, clear as day, is how you made them feel. Heard, appreciated, valued. That feeling, that's the magic. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? How do you put this into practice in your day-to-day life? Well, let's get right into the playbook. It's easier than you think. It really comes down to 3 super simple but incredibly effective actions. First, send a physical card. Second, celebrate the big moments in people's lives. And third, always follow up with a real purpose. These little things, they have a massive impact. Just think about it. A thank you note in the mail says, I really value your time. A little note for a birthday says, I see you as a whole person, not just a contact. And sharing an article with a simple thought of you note, that shows you're actually paying attention to their interests. At the end of the day, every single one of these actions screams one thing loud and clear. I value our relationship way more than any potential transaction. In a world full of noise and automated emails, that's how you truly stand out. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Really? A card? Does something that small actually make a difference? Oh, you have no idea. Let me tell you a quick story that proves just how powerful one small gesture can be. This story just captures the whole idea perfectly. So get this, a business owner sends a card, not to the client, but to the client's daughter. And not about business, but to congratulate her on graduating high school. It was totally personal, completely thoughtful, and 100% unexpected. In that single, small act of human kindness, it set off a chain reaction that paid off in huge, tangible ways. For starters, it led to 3 new referrals. The client was just so blown away by that thoughtful gesture that they became a walking, talking advocate for this person's business. And it didn't even stop there. That one card solidified the relationship so much that it led directly to a new long-term contract. The trust built by that gesture was more powerful than any sales pitch could ever hope to be. You see, the most effective business move wasn't a business move at all. It was just a genuine moment of human connection. That is the incredible power of appreciation. So this all brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. We're always talking about ROI, return on investment, in terms of money, but it's time we started thinking about it a little differently. This is it. This is the whole ballgame. The real ROI, the most valuable asset you have in your career, is the strength and depth of your relationships. The time you put into building that trust, it pays you back in ways you can't even imagine, for years and years to come. And you know what the best part of all this is? You don't have to be some super extroverted, life-of-the-party type to be great at this. Not at all. In fact, it's often the quiet, more observant people who are the best at it. It's not about being the loudest, It's just about being the most thoughtful. So, I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Who in your world, a client, a coworker, maybe an old mentor, who needs to feel remembered today? Just take a second, picture one person, and think about one small thing you can do to make them feel seen.